Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this series of talks in conversation with. And thank you for giving and sharing your time and making time to join us for these talks, to listen to each other and to think together. Today, I will be in conversation with Miad Nohekhan, Leila Jalalian, and Hamidreza Hamidi from Tehran in Iran. Hello. Do you all hear me?
Yes.
Just
hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good. So we will do this conversation just for everyone who are with us to know in English and in Farsi. And Miad will be helping us with translation when necessary. Three of you, you are members of Arseh group in Tehran that gathers people with and without learning disabilities who are interested in performance as means to act in public. So I would like to ask you maybe at the beginning to tell us all a little bit about the group. So we can also use this moment in the conversation also to introduce and tell about the group to everyone who is listening to us.
Okay, great. We would like to thank you for inviting us to this talk. And we would like to thank other colleagues from Per.Art and others who is helping with creating this series of conversations. And about Arseh, we will give you a short description about our group. And Hamid says about Arseh. Hamid درباره عرصه کمی به ما توضیح بده.
خب گروه در واقع عرصه سال 96 شروع به کار کرد و دور هم جمع شدیم و تشکیل گروه دادیم و شروع به کار کرد.
Yes, Arseh has started working since almost 3 years ago.
که ما حدوداً کلاً تعداد اعضامون 15 نفره.
We are almost totally 15.
که حدود 10 نفر در واقع از اعضامون معلول هستن.
And some of our colleagues, almost 10 of them, they are with some disabilities.
و بقیه اعضا هم به اصطلاح سالم هستیم.
And the others are working together in collaboration with them.
جایی که در واقع ما داریم کار میکنیم یک انجمن حمایتی از محلولین ذهنی به نام همایون توی هفته تیر.
Our basic location is in a charity called Haftetir Association, and
که اونجا ما تا الان تونستیم 3 تا اجرا داشته باشیم کلا.
So far we had performed 3 different performances.
یکی از اجراهامون توی خود استیج همون مجموعه حمایتی بود، انجمن بود در واقع.
The first one and the first and second one were inside the charity and we performed for the public.
دومین اجرامون توی محیط در واقع کل مجموعه بودش. اجرای محیطی بود.
Like in environmental performance, we tried to perform in the whole building, the all floors.
سومین اجرامون هم توی مکان‌های مختلف مثل کافه، گالری و سالن تئاتر که اجرا رفت.
The third one and the last one has performed in different scenes in like coffee shops, art galleries, and so on.
و یه سری کارهایی هم که با گروه انجام دادیم در حوزه ساخت فیلم و ویدیو و کارهای در واقع برای حضور در اجتماع بود و جامعه.
Apart from these performances, we actually are working with in other fields like some kind of visual arts, such as creating videos, and also we have many social events taking our colleagues in the public.
و به عنوان مطلب انتهایی هم بگم این که و ما از آرتیست های مختلفی توی پروژمون تا این مدت تونستیم در باهاشون همکاری کنیم و ازشون استفاده کنیم.
And finally, it is important to mention that we have always tried to invite other artists from different fields to work with us in collaboration.
Yes, three of you yourself also have very different backgrounds. If I remember correctly, Miad, you come from the field of sociology. Leila, you come from the field of psychology, and Hamid comes from performing arts and particularly from the field of theater, right?
Yes, but Leila experienced both theater and psychology.
Yeah.
But she is graduated from psychology.
Yeah. And this is also interesting for me when we met 2 years ago in Tehran, when I was there and when I saw your performance. It was interesting for me to see exactly this aspect, how you bring people with the different backgrounds and different competencies to come together and make the work in the group and create these performances.
برای من خیلی در واقع جالب بود که وقتی اومدم تهران دیدم شما از زمینه‌های مختلف کاری، هنر و جامعه شناسی و روانشناسی دور هم جمع شدیم و داریم کار می‌کنیم، همکاری می‌کنیم.
What was also for me very important to see is also how your colleagues with disabilities are also involved actively in different aspects of the work. And I must say that also for everyone who is now listening and watching us, I must say that it's a pity that none of your colleagues with disabilities could join us for this online video conversation because of the problems with internet access, because it's something that also I would like to say that living and working in Iran or in some other places, we as colleagues sometimes need to use VPNs and proxy servers to access internet and to access these platforms that sometimes, especially in this part of Europe, we somehow take for granted this access and visibility. So unfortunately, we couldn't solve this to have also your colleagues with disabilities present at the talk, but I'm sure we will see in future, not only through these online meetings, but also through live meetings, as we did in Tehran 2 years ago, and hopefully in other places. This also brings me maybe to...
In a minute, I translate what she said for Iranians who are watching this video, but briefly, not very long. ساشا به این اشاره میکنه که من خیلی برام جالب بود که وقتی اومدم تهران دیدم شما در واقع در همکاریتون با افراد معلول این در برگیرندگیتون از تمام افراد جامعه بود، نه لزوما معلول و غیر معلول، ولی این که ما الان اونها رو در این نشست نداریم مسئله دسترسی اینترنت و مشکلیه که در کشورهای مثل ایران وجود داره. منتها تلاش میکنیم که در گفتگوی بعدی از دیگر اعضای گروه اونها رو هم داشته باشیم.
Maybe here I would like to ask some of you to also say the meaning of the word, the name of the group, Arseh, because I think it's interesting in relation to also your approach to the public and to performance as medium.
Mm-hmm. There are actually some words for Arseh in Persian we use, there are actually synonyms like scene, stage, square. They all refer to a place where people can go and like socialize, hang out for a special purpose. And we can find a synonym for that. A very close one is public space or public sphere.
Mm-hmm. And how is it? Can you tell us now in this state when everyone is asked to stay at home? How is it for your group? What would you say that in this specific situation is the infrastructure of your work and for your group?
این شرایطی که الان در واقع این گزاره مطرح میشه که در خانه بمانید چطور به شما میگذره و شما چطور خودتون رو سازماندهی میکنید در همچین شرایطی؟
خب ما اول یه شوکی به سر میبردیم که تعطیلی ها روز به روز و هفته به هفته به ما اعلام میشد.
Actually, at the beginning, in the first month of the lockdown, we were shocked because the announcements from the government just were used to be announced day by day, and we were in like a complicated situation.
و همینطور اعضای گروهمون خیلی هم شوکه بودن و منتظر باز شدن کلاس ها و رفتن به کلاس ها بودن.
And other colleagues from Arseh also were shocked, and they were waiting for starting the rehearsals again, and they were kept in waiting and imagining when we can start again.
تقریبا هر روز به ما زنگ می‌زدن و می‌خواستن با ما صحبت کنن و خب ما هم سعی می‌کردیم اونها رو آروم کنیم با اینکه خودمون هم نمی‌دونستیم که چه اتفاقی میفته و کی باز میشه.
They used to call us every day, almost every day, and ask us when we begin again. We didn't know what is the answer of this question, but we just tried to help each other to tolerate the situation.
این در حالی بود که ما فقط خودمون هم خانواده هامون رو می‌دیدیم. همه فقط میگفتن که باید توی خونه بمونید.
In that situation, we just could visit our family, close family, like parents, and everywhere, you could find the statement of stay home and keep yourself away from others.
و بعد از اینکه تعطیلی ها قطعی شد و مشخص شد که همه مغازه ها، همه مدرسه ها و همه جا تعطیله.
After it did appear that lockdown is serious and we have to self-quarantine.
ما تصمیم گرفتیم که یه برنامه آموزشی منظمی رو تهیه کنیم.
We came with the idea of reorganizing ourselves and make a plan for this situation.
و به خاطر اینکه اینترنت خیلی ضعیف بود و ما دسترسیمون سخت بود و همینطور بچه‌ها با ما نمیتونستن به صورت آنلاین خیلی در تماس باشن.
And due to we had a problem with the internet and our members they had very weak access to the internet.
ما اومدیم یه برنامه آموزشی و اینطوری تهیه کردیم که مربوط میشد به کتابخوانی.
We started an educational plan which was about reading books.
و فیلم ها رو ضبط می‌کردیم و میفرستادیم و از اونا می‌خواستیم که تمریناتی رو در ارتباط با این موضوع کتاب برای ما بفرستن.
This was actually the way of this activity. We used to read the books for them and make a video of them in order to show them the pictures of the book. And based on the story of the book, actually they were very short stories. And based on the content of the story, we assigned them for some tasks before the story and then after the story.
این تمرین‌ها هم میشد به مثلا کارهایی مثل نقاشی کردن یا چیزی درست کردن و هم مربوط میشد به اکت‌های نمایشی و مثل اون.
Those acts actually were about like painting in order to let them to like express what are the images of the topics in their mind, and also some making acting videos.
ما غیر از این یه سری تمرین‌های دیگه هم داشتیم، یه سری فعالیت‌های دیگه هم داشتیم.
Also we planned some other rehearsals.
اول تصمیم گرفتیم که از بچه‌ها بخوایم که توی این شرایطی که الان هستیم کووید 19 یک سری نقاشی درباره کووید 19 برای ما بکشن و بفرستن.
In order to ask them to share their experience of this COVID crisis, we asked them first paint for us, okay, and then.
و پروژه بعدیمون در مورد فیلم تجربه زندگی در قرنطینه بود که باید.
And the latest project was about making some videos from their own viewpoint about experiencing the daily life in this crisis.
که قرار بود بچه‌ها از زندگی روزمرهشون و کارهای روزمرهشون از خودشون فیلم بگیرن و برای ما بفرستن.
And they did it. They are still doing this. They are making videos from their viewpoint and sending to us in order to share with others.
Last week I spoke with Mikhail Turinsky, and I asked him for a question for the next people that I will talk with. And his question was about what is the idea or expression of mobility justice. And I would like to ask, how does this question resonate with you, and what would be your reflection?
Yes, the first reflection actually was a long time discussing about the question. As he said, it's a difficult question, but it wasn't. It's a tough question, but we actually intend to say something about that. همین سوال اینه که سوال میشای ترینسکی درباره اینکه عدالت حرکتی چیست و برای شما چه معنایی دارد. الان در واقع پاسخ به این سوال رو
آیس در مورد اون سوال قبل یه قسمت در واقع چیزی میشه گفت که میشه اون رو یه کوچولو یه نکته رو اضافه کنم یا نه؟
آره
بگم. ببین چیزی که در واقع وجود داره و در واقع توی این شرایط در واقع قرنطینه اون مسئله در واقع دولته که دولت توپ رو داره میندازه تو زمین بابت کنترل این مسئله، یعنی چیزی که بیشتر مردم داره اذیت میکنه.
بخش قبلی
رو آره
یه جایی که دوباره برمیگردیم به بحث قرنطینه اونجا. اوکی.
الان در مورد چیز
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
ببین ما عدالت رو میتونیم در معنا و تعریف اولیش اون وضعیتی رو که هر کس نسبت به توانش و پتانسیلش سهم میبره. میخوام شروع کنیم با این در واقع تعریف رو ارائه بدیم.
Yes, there is a definition in common sense about what is justice, and first we need to define what is justice. Okay, on the basis of what is common sense says justice is something that gives people benefits from based on their potentials and abilities. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do we have a connection problem with Hamid?
Yes.
Let's try to reconnect. Okay.
ببخشید بچه‌ها قطع شدم من.
اشکال نداره، از ادامهش بگو.
از ادامهش کنم. و ما میخوایم در واقع ما میتونیم در واقع این عدالت رو و ما میخوایم عدالت رو در خوانشی از برابری تعریف کنیم. در ارتباط با برابری تعریف کنیم.
We tend to define the justice from another aspect in relation with the equality.
به این معنی که افراد جامعه عموماً و تو زندگی روزمره خودشون
people normally in their daily life
موقعیت‌های متفاوتی رو بنا به اراده خودشون یا تصمیم خودشون پیدا می‌کنن، به دست میارن.
They go through different situations and based on their intentions and they do different things.
اما این تفاوت‌ها نباید به نابرابری منجر شه.
But these differences shouldn't lead to inequality.
بنابراین جامعه موظفه که فرصت‌ها و امکانات زندگی برابر و برای همگان فراهم بیاره.
And this is actually the responsibility of the society to provide all people with equal opportunities. I mean, accessing to facilities, opportunities, and so on.
که این شکل از برابری در برگیرنده تمام امور زندگی انسان رو در واقع در برگیرنده تمام امور زندگی انسانه.
This kind of having access to equal opportunities and facilities is about all aspects of life, including mobility and movement.
از جمله در واقع مسئله حرکت هم یکی از اون امور زندگیه که این حرکت میتونه حرکت در زندگی روزمره باشه، حرکت در فضاهای اجتماعی سیاسی باشه، حرکت در هنر.
It includes every type of movements, from very simple things like your daily mobilities, your daily life, and other movements for the sake of political reasons or even sociological purposes, social purposes, sorry.
و به طور کلی پس ما عدالت در واقع حرکتی رو به شکل کلی ما اون رو در ارتباط با برابری میدونیم. یعنی عدالت و برابری چیزیه که باید با همدیگه تعریف بشن و با همدیگه باید در اینجا در واقع اینجوری میبینیش که باید با هم آورده بشه.
Okay, so in general we define the mobility justice exactly in relation with equality.
When I hear this, it makes me think of the performance I saw in Tehran, What Dreams May Come, because in this performance you deal with the problem of inequality and the problem of you examine the power relations between people, but especially through the relation between people with disabilities and people without disabilities. But this for me is interesting how you address this problem, but then it brings me further, and I would like to ask you if you can say about the work that you did a few months ago that is called Some Incomplete Complete Narratives About Us. And because it's interesting how you, in that work, you dealt with the discipline and power relations, the work What Dreams May Come. And then in this narratives about us, this question of equality and how to speak together and how to address the ability to speak and the right to speak is something interesting. If you can maybe tell us a little bit about that work and your motivation to do it, especially how you are emphasizing this importance of political and social relevance of the practice and also of the work in general.
در واقع ساشا از تجربه اجرای قبلی که در تهران دیده گفتش که من اونجا دیدم که شما چطور در واقع مسئله رو پروبلماتیک کرده بودید، باهاش در واقع مواجه شده بودید، مسئله نابرابری رو و این رو در شکل یا فرمی از اجرا در آوردید، اجرای چه رویاهایی که می آیند. و درباره اجرای اخیری که این چند روایت تمام درباره ما دوباره به این مسئله به شکل دیگه پرداخته شد، درباره در واقع ارتباط بین حق توان سخن گفتن و حرف زدن با حق حرف زدن و میخوام بدونم که کمی بیشتر درباره اون اجرا هم و این نسبت از جنبه‌های سیاسی اجتماعیش هم توضیح بدید.
میخواد بگو خودت میاد یا لیلا؟ میخواد بگو خودت میاد. خب
Okay. Actually, the idea of this performance derived from the wishes of one of the members of our group. Okay, when in a rehearsal he asked us a lot about "I want to tell you a story," and yes, it was in a period of time he used to ask us, "I want to tell you a story." Okay. And then when he began to tell others his narrative, other members they just understood that they wish to say their stories. It was the beginning of this the idea of this performance. And but after a while we decided to make a performance about this, but we asked them to memorize their narratives, okay, and we tried to ask them to tell those stories for people. But as you know, some people with different disabilities, they have problem with speaking, okay, and sometimes they don't speak clear, okay. I mean clear in the meaning of what the society says clear, okay? And so some of them, they have problem with even, speaking at all. They have many stories in their minds, but they don't express them. And those differences between the abilities of speaking crossed our mind the idea of involving other people in such common human experience. And so in the performance, we did many different things. We tried many different ways in order to share this experience with audience. And for example, in one of the performances, we asked audiences to tell their stories. And, it was like a sample of the real situation of the society, okay? People are speaking, they are telling their narratives, okay? But conveying the meaning is something ambiguous in the situation. So it was the main part of the performance. And did I miss anything about that?
اگه بخوایم به این سوال جواب بدیم که چجوری برگشتیم به این حق برابر سخن گفتن، صحبت کردن، میتونیم به این اشاره کنیم که حتی در یکی از تجربه های ما در یکی از اجراها این بود که کسی اونجا بود که نمیتونست خوب فارسی صحبت کنه و کسی دیگه اون رو از تماشاچی سرکوب کرد و این معنی رو واسه ما گستردش کرد.
Yes. So coming back to the idea of how ability of speaking makes the right to speak, okay? We experienced many interesting things. For example, in one of the performances, there was an audience from she was Iranian and Canadian, okay, and she had problem with speaking Farsi, Persian, okay, and in that situation nobody understood her, okay, and the other one of the audiences asked her to stop talking, okay, and it was a very shocking moment that shows how the ability of speaking gives people the right to speak. When they can convey the meaning, okay, the society let them to speak. But if they don't, they try to stop them from talking. Okay, but in the other part and the last part of the performance, we came up with a solution. It is actually a social political solution. What we can do in order to prevent this inequality, okay? Performers started to talk and tell their narratives together. It was like different sounds in the atmosphere of the performance, and it was really interesting to see how the circulation of the talks. And we can call it like a circulation of the dialogues. It is a way of omitting the ability of speaking, because in this way you cannot recognize and label who can speak and who can't speak. Well, I mean, this is like a great alternative of what is the common way of speaking in the society.
This is interesting as a way of, how to say, I think us as artists who use performance as the medium is important to look for ways how can we deal with what also the title of your performance says, incomplete and complete narratives about us, and how to tell stories about ourselves also by ourselves, and to test in artistically but also politically the representational regime, and to exactly what you are describing, experiment and try with the ways where we can have this way of creating narratives directly from everyone in the society who is, in this particular case, with your performance and your audiences, but to think of it as example, what it means for the society where this performance is happening.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, right. این در واقع اون نمونه‌ای که بهش اشاره کردیم اون یک تجربه خیلی عالی بوده از اینکه چطور در واقع جامعه تصمیم میگیره که در واقع چه کسی توان سخن گفتن و سخن گفتن داره. این رو در اسم اجراتون روایت‌های تمام و ناتمام هم به خوبی عنوان کردید.
این رو هم که میاد جان توضیح دادی که چیز کلا اصلا قاعده خود اجرامون این که کارگردان یه جوری خودش کارگردان سرکوب گردخوری میشه و اینها.
یه بار دیگه
این که
کارگردان قطع میکرد که تمرین اجرایی بود که کارگردان
یه تمرین اجرا بود، یعنی فرم اجرایی رو میخوای یه کوچولو توضیحی دادی یا میخوای بدیم؟
فقط یه اشاره بهتون میکنم. Just to mention in that performance, okay, there was a role for Hamid in order to like determine who has the time to say his or her narrative and when they have to stop, okay? And he was as a sample of the society and let's say the power that gives people the right of speak when they can talk and when they have to stop. And then finally, when the circulation started and those noise and voices, everything went out of Hamid's control. Yes.
That's I find this experience very important for us as not only as artists but also as citizens to then experience what is it that we can do when we leave this relation of submitting to a powerful position and then all together find a way how we can speak together.
این در واقع چیزیه که حتی عموم شهروندان میتونن تجربه کنن که ما کی میتونیم حرف بزنیم، چی باید بگیم.
I think this would be a good moment to maybe think of a question that you would have for the next person that I will speak with. So if you can think of a question.
سوالی که باید از هنرمند بعدی بپرسیم میتونیم الان بهش اشاره بکنیم.
خب سوالی که ما به ذهنمون رسیده اینه که میخوای بگی؟
آره یکم بیشتر.
سوالی که ما به ذهنمون رسیده اینه که در شرایط کنونی یعنی در شرایط فاصله گذاری اجتماعی
This is actually the question crosses our mind is about the current situation that you know the media and the power impose the social distancing.
گروه‌های هنری که شامل گروه‌های معلولین هم میشن.
Artistic groups, including groups with people with disabilities.
چه فرم‌هایی میتونن ارتباطشون رو حفظ کنن با هم؟
In what ways, or let's say what forms, they can keep in touch and like manage their rehearsals and come up with the ideas of performing. Yes.
اساساً یه چیز هست میاد یه ببخشید من اسکام این که با چه در واقع فرمی در واقع میتونن در واقع اجرا حتی داشته باشن مثلا گروه معلولی نه اشاره کردم.
بله. I don't know. Did you find it clear or no?
I did, but maybe if you can, I understood the translation of what Leila was saying. So if what Hamid said, if you can maybe Miad formulate it then together what you all thought as the question, so we can then hear it.
Yes, exactly. The question is about the problem we are engaging with. Actually, in Iran, we have this problem, and it it occupies our mind, and we want to know experience of this situation, the COVID crisis. I mean, as the media and the power impose social distancing, it causes even physical distancing, and how others form rehearsals and keeping in touch, and even coming up with the idea of even performing. We want to know and ask them to share their experiences.
Okay, thank you. With this, I would then like to finish our conversation and thank you all and everyone who was with us, and also send greetings and best wishes also to your colleagues with disabilities. And also maybe to say that for everyone who is now listening to us and who is using Instagram, it's also possible to follow your group on Instagram, right?
Yeah, of course. ساشا تشکر میکنه و در واقع گفتگومون در اینجا باید تموم بشه و امیدواره که ما اینو در واقع به اشتراک بذاریم با بقیه همکاران هنرمندان که اونا هم در واقع از جریان این مصاحبه مطلع بشن. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you for creating this opportunity.
Yes, welcome. Thank you also. But just maybe to say what is the name on Instagram so people can find the account and also see the activities of the group.
Yes, it is actually, if I want to spell it out, it is Arseh Performance Art Group. Yes, am I right?
Arseh Performance Art Group.
Okay, so
Arseh Performance Art Group. Arseh, like if you want to spell it, A-R-E-S-H.
Yes.
No, sorry.
No, A-R-A-R-S-E-H.
E-H. Yes.
So Arseh Performance Art Group. Arseh spelled like A-R-S-E-H.
H, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Say hello to colleagues.
I will. Bye-bye.